Right, it has started. The bidding war for Alexander Isak is officially underway. Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein have both just let us know that officially Liverpool have lodged an opening bid of around £120 million plus add-ons for Alexander Isak. That is the breaking news this morning. According to Fabrizio Romano, Newcastle have instantly rejected it as they won't open the doors until at least finding a replacement for Alexander Isak, and it's not even guaranteed at this stage. Yes, we know that Benjamin Sesko has been linked with the Geordies and Manchester United. It's quite clear that he prefers Manchester United, so Newcastle are in a very, very difficult position now. The player has gone AWOL, he's taken unauthorised leave, he's in Sociedad training at his old club. You know, he's fled the country almost to get away from the noise. And if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be upset, to be honest, that the player who is so loved and adored by the Geordies has almost dug his feet in to escape the city and the country and go to Spain to almost get this deal over the line from afar. Newcastle fans are not happy. They've left signs outside the training ground saying Isak is a pure rat. But Liverpool, I think, wouldn't have made this opening bid unless they know he is available. Now it comes down to finding the right price, right? Newcastle have been very keen on slapping initially 100 million, then it was 150 million down as his price tag. But can you afford as a football club to reject that kind of money? I'm not too sure. I think Newcastle are going to make it extremely awkward and difficult for him now. You know, it's an upcoming season. They haven't won a game in the pre-season. They've barely brought anyone in apart from Elanga and Aaron Ramsdale. Elanga's a very exciting signing, but Ramsdale flatters to deceive, really, knowing that they were in for James Trafford and they have been rejected by Cunha and Buemo, Ekitike, etc., etc. But this is almost the start of the ripple effect now. Liverpool have officially lodged this first bid. And now we'll see what happens, right? There were rumours that his thigh didn't feel right, but initially that was what was fed to us. But now it looks like his thigh is fine, and he's training solo in Sociedad to almost force this deal over the line now, which I'll be honest, I didn't think he would do this. As a Newcastle legend, obviously they love him so much up there, but not anymore because of the way that they've gone about this, him and his camp, I mean. And Matty Renton, who obviously, as we know, is the big Geordie that we all know and love on this channel, and he said yesterday, it's not necessarily the fact that he wants to go to Liverpool. Let's be realistic. Liverpool have got more chance of winning the Premier League than Newcastle, more chance of winning the Champions League with Newcastle. So it's not necessarily the club that he is angry with. It's more the way that he's gone about this. And this has happened to Liverpool before. We look at Felipe Coutinho, who feigned injury, let's be real, to force through that January move for £145 million, which obviously set Liverpool up so well financially to go on to win the Premier League and the Champions League after using that money to buy Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker. But I would agree. I mean, if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be absolutely fuming. I'd want him out now. I'd want to get the most money in possible to reinvest that and buy his replacement. Maybe it's even two players that they replace him with that money. But I do believe that Liverpool don't make this opening deal or this opening offer without getting some kind of green light from Newcastle to say, well, look, let the games begin. You know, we're open to your offer now. Yes, he wasn't for sale. Yes, we don't want to sell him. But with that official bid being made, it seems to me like Liverpool wouldn't have made that bid unless Newcastle are prepared to go and sell the player. And what is that price that Newcastle would want? I think they will not settle for less than 150 million as a total package. Now that could be 140 million paid over 2 years with a 10 million plus in add-ons. I reckon that would be Newcastle's minimum. But because they've rejected it so quickly, it does tell me that Liverpool are not finished in this and they will go back in for the player and try and get something over the line as soon as possible, knowing that Liverpool play in 2 weeks today against Bournemouth at Anfield. And there's still the conundrum, isn't there, of trying to sell Darwin Núñez and get some more cash in for that as well. So there's still a lot of moving parts to take place, both on Liverpool side and Newcastle side. We know that Wissa wants to move up north to Newcastle. Will that be an indicative sign of maybe them willing to accept this offer eventually if he comes through the door? But the fact that Isak is training elsewhere, I think, is a massive FU, I am not coming back to Newcastle, right? It will turn up the pressure on Newcastle to go out and find his replacement, especially they're not going to accept this bid without finding that replacement. And how does this one end? Ollie Watkins has been touted around as well to all the top clubs. Could he end up at Newcastle? Could Nunes end up at Newcastle? Could Wissa still end there as well? But Craig Hope just now, he said that he is told that Liverpool's offer falls some way short of Newcastle's £150 million valuation of the player. So let's see how this one ends, because 120 million now has been made. The bid has been lodged officially after that initial kind of flurry of activity between Liverpool and Newcastle, the unofficial flurry, where Liverpool have suggested that they would be open to paying £120 million for the player. That wasn't an official bid, but now, as we sit here, 15 minutes ago, this news did break from David Ornstein to say that Liverpool have now made that official bid, and Fabrizio Romano followed it up as soon as possible straight after. Initially, we didn't know the bid, the actual number. It wasn't mentioned in Ornstein's tweet, but according to Fabrizio Romano, it is £120 million plus add-ons for this player. And again, if you're a Newcastle fan, I would almost want this to just be over with as soon as it can be done. You know, Isak's head has obviously been turned by Liverpool. And I have to ask the question, if you were a Liverpool fan, if you are a Liverpool fan now, how would you feel about the way he's gone around forcing his way out of Newcastle to get the move? Is that something that he could potentially do in 3 or 4 years to Liverpool when he wants to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid? I say that with a tongue in cheek. Obviously, it has happened to Liverpool in the past. But are you asked at all, are any Liverpool fans bothered by the fact that he's actually pushing his way out and forcing his way out? He's left the country, he's gone AWOL, he's taken unauthorised leave, he is not replying to messages. The top senior players at Newcastle have all kind of spoke to him allegedly and begged him to stay. The top staff at the club have all begged him to stay. But it seems to me as if he's not replying to those messages. And by him going AWOL, by him going back to Sociedad to almost train on his own, it seems to me like he's not interested in coming back to Newcastle. Once you leave, you know, in that kind of manner, I think on his side, he's probably too embarrassed or too set in his mind now to go back. And the Newcastle players and fans probably actually don't want him to even come back now. We've seen some signs outside the training ground that I mentioned earlier. Eddie Howe, has said in the past this week that, the power is still in Newcastle's hands, who have, of course, they've rejected the deal. But to me, this seems like it is the start of something. And it seems like now it is only a matter of time before Alexander Isak becomes a Liverpool player. Maybe he's seen the kit launch today and thought, a bit of Adidas, I wear the F50s, I want to be part of that. So we will see what happens. I think this one has still got legs, but what date do you think that he becomes a player for Liverpool Football Club? And I do think that this now is the start of something quite special in terms of what we're going to see from both clubs. More bids coming in, more rejections maybe, but I do believe now that Liverpool have made that first move that this will accelerate fairly quickly now. So let us know what you think towards this one in the chat. Don't forget, we'll be back live at 5 o'clock on DR Sports for more on this story as it develops, and we'll of course be looking at potential alternatives that could come in to Newcastle to potentially replace Alex Isak. But right now, as things stand, Liverpool have made the first bid. Newcastle have rejected it instantly, but that's not the end of it. We're going to see what happens now, right? Join us live at 5 on DR Sports where we'll have more on this. But until then, smash that like button. Get your comments in. If you're a Newcastle fan, how are you feeling? If you're a Liverpool fan, how are you feeling? If you're a rival fan for these clubs, how are you feeling that Alexander Isak could come in and almost this Galactico era at Liverpool could now begin? See you soon at 5 o'clock. All the best.